Greetings and welcome to One Spiritual Love, Spirituality, in a Modern World. Today is 7/30/2023, and today's sermon is energy. How many doctors in your life do you know that give you how to the way they do things? Or just quote what they have learned in medical school? I am the real deal. I will give examples of how I conquer and still am conquering life. Why do I do this? To show we are all human and everyone has a different modality of belief system. Example, I recently went through cancer and cancer treatments. Because of delayed side effects from the radiation cancer treatments, I started choking on my food. This in turn showed me I devised a new plan. I had to find a way to be able to eat. My throat is falling apart and it is inflamed due to radiation treatments. I didn't eat for almost 4 months. During the cancer radiation and chemotherapy, I went from 165 pounds to 111 pounds. I have been vegan lifestyle and plant-based foods. I took my knowledge through study and research of 35 years in food nutrition and came up with a plan for my food nutrition in order to be able to eat. I in turn shared some of my food recipes on my YouTube channel. I am still healing and the videos are about 3 to 5 minutes long because I am short on energy. I thought there might be others that I might also have gone through what I have gone through. There is 2 years of food nutrition recipes on my YouTube channel. And the side effects last for 20 years. I've already completed 2. After a year and a half, all of a sudden my throat starts falling apart. So it can come and go here and there. That's just what we call life, you know? I have 2 doctor degrees and working on my 3rd doctor degree. We are all leaders. We are all guides leading future generations. Kosher motif are only 2 words. However, there is a much deeper meaning of kosher motif, and I will share this through the spirit realm in 6 pages. Each and every being on of earth has a different belief system, same as no 2 snowflakes are alike. Each has a different shape that is unique, same as human handprint, no 2 are alike. With that said, a belief system is different for each being on, in, of earth. When more than one entity, an entity is any person, place, or thing, chooses to collaborate, camaraderie begins. A new system is now taking place. As each human being grows into the teenage years, these children want to find their own identity. It is natural in all species to create a new identity. They find other beings about the same age and then begin creating their own language, clothes, etc. to form a new identity. They are a one-of-a-kind, unique energy, but yet they need confirmation to believe it's okay to believe. What they have realized is they first must create camaraderie self. Camaraderie with another person, place, or thing. As a teenager grows, so does self. Believing what others say, do, and think is the belief system that creates their identity. They have yet to realize that they are a much more powerful being than the path that they have chosen as their identity. Until self begins... one second. until self begins the particles of understanding that a belief system is what you choose in this life, in this lifetime. These particles are pieces that create life path of choices in teaching self to loving self. In yesteryear, a young person in their creative path in life chose the phrase free will. Free will is simply a man-made concept, and that is a made-up belief system in order to emotionally cope with the situation at hand. In reality, choice falls under the realms of dualistic nature. Dualistic nature is a natural energy in every species in of Earth. The choice in dualistic nature is merely this or that on life lesson path in of on Earth. The dualistic nature is what self creates on what level self-love gives and receives for self. A belief system in dualistic nature is simply the belief system is the self-love that is neither good or bad. The dualistic nature is in all DNA genes in the past life gene. The past life gene contains past life events called experiences of self-love that self has created for self in the form of dualistic nature. Dualistic nature is number 2 in the time sequence on the timeline in infinity. In order to bring back to self, a belief system must be created to connect self to self. When self has stopped in creating outside of self and begins creating inside of self, the dualistic nature in self creates a new motif of understanding. Motif is a lifestyle. Part of that lifestyle are the particles. The particles are part of the whole. The particles are the questions, and that is the keys. The part is the answers, that is the doors. The whole is the open into enlightenment. Whole is the whole being that contains the 4 bodies of being. Mind, body, emotion, spirit that create the core being. The core is the soul. The particles are part of the whole, are in infinity. It is a mathematical calculation far from Earth's realm in of on Earth's energy. As each being steps out of the mathematical calculation in life path of what everyone else says, does, thinks, and begins a new mathematical calculation in soul path. Life path is fate, soul path is destiny. In this new mathematical calculation, self begins the love lessons. The love lessons of what self teaches self to love self and learns to love self. Each being on, in, of Earth has one lesson to teach and one lesson to learn. As self gravitates to self-own heart, a new direction has begun in the portals. To begin the new adventure through the portals back to self in order for self to teach and learn love in, of, on self, to find center in self is basic level in grounding. To ground self is reconnecting on the elements on, in, of Earth hemisphere. Self is a microbe. Microbes are the particle on, in, of Earth hemisphere. The land on Earth is a microbe. You are a microbe that needs to be centered in grounding and connecting to the microbe in, of, on Earth hemisphere. Each chemical compound has a base, and that base is grounding. Sometimes you get these moments that are, they call senior moments or brain fog or whatever. So you get moments in life, you know. To find self in self is basic level and grounding. To ground self is reconnecting to the elements on, in, of Earth hemisphere. Self is a microbe. Microbes are particles on, in, of Earth hemisphere. The land on Earth is a microbe. You are a microbe that needs to be centered in grounding and connecting to the microbe in, on, of Earth hemisphere. Earth's chemical compounds are a base, and that base is grounded in center point. That grounding is particles of natural creations that God created. God is the creator. You are a creator. God blessed you to create your own kosher motif. Kosher is balance, and motif is lifestyle. In order to create your own kosher motif, you then grow into your own being. To create is bringing self back to center in order to grow. Center is grounding. Grounding in a belief system is connecting to Earth's elements. Part of Earth's elements are the creations that God left for the inhabitants in, of, on Earth. Part of the elements for connecting to self is the minerals that contain chemical compounds. The chemical compounds in the elements connect to the chemical compounds in the heart chakra. Certain particles are the stones. The stones have a vibrational energy that regulates with the heart chakra. Today's sermon session is learning about connecting with earth elements. Today's energy from the spirit realm has blessed me with insight in the coagulation in order to interpret the coded messages. Before I begin a session, I connect with myself through meditation. In the meditation, I communicate with the spirit realm. When you pray, you talk to God. When you meditate, you communicate with God. God has messages, and I am one of those messengers. I am Unispherical Muse, a God in 3D, third dimension. Now, when you understand Gemini is planet Mercury. Mercury was a god. Mercury was a messenger to the gods for the gods. And Gemini is a messenger that comes from the throat chakra. The throat chakra is communication. So yes, I am a messenger. If you look at the astrological aspects, the spiritual realm aspect, yes, I am a messenger. Today I'm guided to bring the messages of energy to all beings on, in, of Earth. After meditation, the area must be cleansed. And this I have done before the sermon. Today's sermon that I share, because I am blessed, is to share the energy of elements. Today's energy for grounding and to be centered in is red jasper. And this is red jasper. It is used to bring stability and increase autonomy. Consider a stone of It is considered a stone of justice and fairness. It is a powerful protective stone in times of danger. Red jasper is a form of quartz, Si02, that crystallizes from hot solutions and is changed several times by reheating. Red jasper focuses on solidarity and grounding center. It is the ideal stone to balance the base chakra in maintaining practical down-to-earth solutions, and each stone is unique to each person. Crystal system, trigonal. Hardness 7. Chakra base, subtle body, etheric. I have stated many times, self consists of the four bodies of being. The mental body, the physical body, the emotional body, the spiritual body, creating the core being. In order to go through the portals in the hologram, same as the ethers, same as the etheric, the energy in the etheric is the energy you create. You are a very powerful being that consistently creates. The energy that you self-create sometimes needs help into the direction of soul path. Today's energy is being guided through red jasper. Jasper, red, brown, yellow, green, is found in US, Greece, Portland, and Turkey. This stone will help control your intense, passionate nature. Also to guide today's energy is the rune ice. This rune, as all things in life, are about symbologies and metaphors. The symbol of ice rune freezes a sensation of activities. I had this out earlier and then I put it all away. Well, anyways, it's in my pile of runes. It's just a straight line. Ice is a central room of inert and entropy, and is also symbolizes symbolage. My goodness, what a word. Well, there's so many prefix and suffix and everything for each noun in the English language, it can get overcombobulated. Symbolizes the ego. This is, okay. Put your plans on hold until the moment is right. This is only temporary. In magic, ice is the central rune of inner and entropy. And it also symbolizes the ego. The color red is the base chakra, also sexual love, courage, protection, also the primordial body of being in flight or fight mechanism. A challenge of frustration, psychological blocks, or thought or activity. Ice rune is related to Sagittarius. Today there are 3 tarot cards. I had the cards out and then I put them all away because the videos or whatever wasn't working right, so I'm like, I give it a rest, I give it a break. So then I decided to just put everything away, and then I decided, okay, you know what, maybe I can actually do this video again, because this video was supposed to be for today. Machines should have never been invented. They're not natural. They create too much ions in existence, which then messes up the particles in your being. It's not good, trust me, it's not a good thing. But everybody thinks they need an artificial thing in their life to create the constant connection, because they may be an introvert or an extrovert that is a codependent, and this is they're dependent upon electricity. Really? Yeah, I've never had that problem. I'm an only child, and thank God for that. Everybody else just gets in the way of what I'm doing, because I'm having way more fun than they could ever imagine. Okay, today are 3 tarot cards. Center card is for present, left tarot card is for past, right tarot card is for future. Center card is the 4 of Cups. Weariness, disgust, aversion, imaginary vexation. The world has caused internal conflict. What did I just say? A fairy gift is offered, but self does not see consolation. Consolation, the comfort received by a person after a loss. Cups are symbol direction of west. The left tarot card is the 5 of Coins. 5 of Coins is the symbol direction of east. Love of material wealth. Hoarder, user, skinflint, miser, ungenerous person, inability to share. The right tarot card, and the right is the future, is the 3 of Cups. Cups is the symbol of direction of west. So we went from west to east to west. Remember, the 4 quadrants of direction are extremely important when you're creating a mathematical calculation. Cups are the symbol direction of west. bountiful outcome, imperfection, and merriment, fulfillment, healing. Of course, when I begin a sermon session, I call upon the spirit realms of all enlightening deities of past, present, future to guide me in these moments in time. The purpose is the spirit realm can guide me through the energies. With each meditation, I listen to meditation music. I always have a purpose for anything I do in life. The purpose in my meditation through help from the spirit, how to interpret the coded messages. Then the area is cleansed. I can either light a candle or focus on any other number of divinations. Today is a stone, a rune, tarot cards, and an oracle card. And thank the spirit realm for coming to communicate with me. Then is a protection spell. The oracle card was chosen by the spirit realm. I asked the spirit realm to share with me the energy that is bestowed upon humanity. The oracle card in the spirit realm chooses is olive, and the symbol is peace. Olive branch welcomes release. Go forth now in health and peace. This magic is worked with harm to none, so mote it be. There it is done. And reading from the book, the symbology, this is quotes, the symbolic symbol of olive branch is goodwill towards an enemy. I will ensure the peaceful outcome you desire. Going easy on yourself at this time releases your expectations of others and your control of outcomes. As a symbol of peace, my companions, compassion, tranquility, and harmony accompany me into your kitchen to remind you that this is a time to be still, to listen to the wisdom of the witch within. Hang an olive branch above the threshold to ensure your home is a sanctuary for you and guests alike. My health benefits have been honored for centuries, for I am known to boost the immune system, fight against disease, and even revive dry and lifeless hair back to glossy mane. Use me as a base when blending oils for your magical potions or for anointing in ritual and ceremony. And you yourself shall be blessed with the peace your soul craves at this time. Olive. Yeah, dry mouth, side effects from cancer. Dry lips, dry throat, so you gotta stay moist. Live on cough drops and water. Isn't life fantastic? Olive, sacred to Athens, she gifted the people of Athens an olive tree. It was said that this tree grew in the Archipelagus until Persians burnt it down. Acropolis. Archipelagus. I don't live in that section of the world, so sometimes words elude me, even English words, and I was born here. Anyways, olive oil was used in Greek temple lamps and to anoint priests and kings. The island of Crete is home to an olive tree, a living monument believed to be between 3,000 and 5,000 years old. I will read a passage introduction from my book, The Infinity of Infinite Self. And in quotes, humans are truly quite unique creatures of all creatures on planet Earth. Throughout time, space, and mass matter in 3D third dimension, they have created the behavioral pattern of the history of histories through 1. Love or fear, 2. Knowing or intelligence, 3. A seed of inner self, which births the energy in and of recycling infinite self. The infinite The infinity of infinite self is the perceptual holographic essence of energy that is and will always be energy. Energy has and always will be labeled as many different names. To understand energy is human terms. We simplify the fundamental mechanics of function. Function is a process of behavioral patterns, and to describe animate and inanimate objects of recycling energy. The space between two pairs of dimensions is the creationism of energy within the holographic world in and of infinite self. The infinite pairs of dimensions create the building blocks that contain the fundamentals of life called energy. 1. Love or fear. 2. Knowing or intelligence. 3. A seed of inner self, which births the energy in of self. Metaphysics is a relatively new term. In secular education, metaphysics is a branch of philosophy. That is a descriptive word based upon the fundamentals of the natural world, in two parts. 1. Physical reality, tangible. 2. Non-physical reality, intangible. In non-secular education, esoteric teachings, metaphysics is based upon the fundamentals of the natural world in two parts. 1. Physical reality, tangible. 2. Non-physical reality, intangible. Self-love is dimensionless. It is in between the tangible and intangible. The in-between, the between, this is the core of being. Tangible is the physical world of the human five senses. We see with our eyes, we smell with our nose, we taste with our mouths, we touch with our skin, and we hear with our ears. We use our five senses and attach it to a human emotion, which is human nature. Human nature is derived from learned behaviors inside and outside of one's own being, moving from physical reality, tangible, to non-physical reality, intangible. Of non-human emotion, we find the heightened human five senses. When we see with the core of internal vision of awareness. This is energy. This is the world of holographic ether. When we smell senses out of the range of the immediate vicinity. When we taste journeys of heightened awareness that are outside of the immediate vicinity. When we hear, we use our human ears. When we listen with our whole being of all five senses, which brings us to a higher sense of awareness. By listening to our whole being, we find the breakdown sectioned into three parts. 1. Faith or love. Faith of love or fear. Knowing. Number 2, knowing or intelligence. Number 3, a seed of inner self. Listening with our whole being is learning that perception births the faith of love or fear. Fear is an illusion pertaining to the human intellect that can be overcome by learning lessons of love. Stepping inside boundless dimensions expands perception into higher levels of awareness and transcends the transparencies of love into spiritual worlds, while dissipating fear and igniting love. Number 2, we then learn that change takes place when we choose knowing or intelligence. Spirituality knows beyond human five senses, and science is intelligent in the human five senses. By holding onto intelligence like a security blanket, we keep human evolution from remembering knowing. 3, a seed of inner self is about a journey, a quest to understand our own selves more. We can look through lapsed time of inner vision and see humanity played out in past events. As we look, oh, my poor throat. As we look with inner vision, with the mind's eye, we can see the past and ask ourselves questions. Can we really afford to watch human mechanics dissipate? My bad. Can we really afford to watch human evolution dissipate? Due to the fact of misunderstanding or rebirthing the fundamental mechanics, we are losing the connection with self-awareness. Self-awareness can be obtained through the creative innovation within cosmic consciousness. End quote. You can find my book, The Infinity of Infinite Self, published 2013 and republished on Amazon. My second book on Amazon is Fracmacology 5-in-1. Fracmacology is the micro in the macro, in the fractals, in the matrix. It is the adventure of a girl in past, present, and future lifetimes in the year 3050, universe 23, and planet number 3. Do you enjoy living in the first chakra, in sadness, depression, suicide thoughts, etc., or would you like to learn how to elevate yourself in your chakras so that you can become the balanced being you were sent to Earth to become? The choice is yours, and only you can choose. I am Reverend Dr. Winnie Lewis, DDIV, PhD. I am a doctor in trilogy. That means I have 2 doctorate degrees and working on my 3rd doctorate degree. I'm a metaphysician, alternative doctor, non-drug practitioner. Any part of the world, you have an old school doctor, and today they are called alternative doctors, such as a yogi, shaman, etc., etc. This sermon is now complete, and now I cast a protection spell. Quote, I have a protection bubble, and I am protected by the spirit realm. Any entity that sends energy towards me bounces off me and back at them. Let it be, so it shall be, blessed be. So mote it be forevermore. You must take a deep breath in and out. And when you do these deep breaths are in the diaphragm, which is the gut, during meditation, your chest does not move, only your diaphragm. 1 deep breath in and out, and so mote it be forevermore. Life is love, love is life. Blessings from Reverend Lewis, blessings from Reverend Dr. Winnie Lewis, DDIV, PhD. Thank you for your support. Keep in thought, to judge a person, place, or thing is actually creating deadly sin, and that creates karmic debt. Because in reality, you are judging your own inadequacies. Now, throughout my life, it was so important for people to always feel like they needed to teach me or tell me something. And on a spiritual sense, they had no clue whatsoever that I am an HEB, highly enlightened being. That means that I can, with all of my senses, they're highly enlightened, so I can see thousands of years in the future and thousands of years in the past. So I collect my information just like a anthropologist does. You are an observer. When you're an observer, you are observing a culture in their culture. You do not give an opinion. You document your findings. This is your research, and this is how you publish your articles. Now, for me, I have a degree in behavioral science anthropology. I've studied human behavioral patterns for 35 years. It's natural. And then, of course, by being able to see with God's gifts, I was blessed with a lot of gifts in this lifetime. And it just seems to me that while everybody was so busy trying to teach me and tell me stuff, they have yet to learn who they are by teaching how to love their own self, or talking, teaching, the whole shebang, because they don't know how to connect to their own selves. How can you teach a child to love when you yourself have not learned what love is? I mean, really, how does that make any sense whatsoever? My goodness. Now, 2007, I started creating my website, and I've done podcasts, everything else, because I have to find what motif exactly am I doing my creating. I create books, I create art, I create music, I create so many crafts. I see things from start, which is seed, all the way to death, which is herb. Okay? So I see everything from beginning to middle to end in a split second because I have honed in on my skills. These are my birthrights. So while everybody else was busy, one day I decided I didn't really talk much until the age of 50. Then I started talking, and when I did, it blew the minds of the world. And then I think people have the understanding now that, guess what? You thought you were teaching, but you were really only teaching yourself how to learn to love self and how to teach self-love. That's what it's all about. That is your base point. That is your grounding. So now, find your grounding. What is your little good luck charm? Is it like a rabbit's foot or whatever? Find your good luck charm. That is what you're going to keep with you every day. Maybe it's a rune, okay? Maybe it's a stone, a crystal, whatever, an herb, whatever. Keep it with you, and it will help guide you in the direction that you need to go from life path to soul path. And as you familiarize yourself with these different particles that are part of Earth, it will then bring you into grounding. So each and every morning, you have your list. I have 3 things on my calendar. This is my goal for the day. This is my purpose. Meditation, stretching, and psychic gobo. Psychic gobo is affirmation. Stretching is stretching the mind, body, emotion, spirit. Okay, so it's not stretching just the physical body. No, there's so much more than meets the eye. Now, I have the 3 things on my calendar, and I can do a whole physical body stretch in 5 minutes. Because you know how, because I did aerobics for 40 years, so you know how to increment into the time sequence on the timeline. The timeline is infinity, and time sequence are the little hash marks on a ruler. Okay, it's all a mathematical calculation. It's a beautiful mathematical calculation that humans have yet to go in between the between to the core being in order to find that. Now, number 1, I always say that speaking is hot air of the mouth. Dude, get rid of that. Alright? It's like the music on the radio. It's just a bunch of hot air. Who needs that extra pollution? No. Humans should be much more evolved by now. This is ultimately ridiculous. People are still thinking that this stuff is important. Excuse me. This is important. Your mind with someone else's mind. Your mind with another person, place, or thing. That is called communication. That's why y'all need to get out of the muck and get into communication with the mind. Do you see animals communicating with blah, blah, blah? No, of course not. But yet they have a mutual understanding because it's all right here. Alright? Plants do the same thing. And we are a subspecies, not on the higher 5 kingdom of the most intelligent species on Earth. Excuse me, we are a subspecies. There are so many other species out there that have realized from here to communicate with person, place, or thing. Humans are just too ignorant to understand how to do this. balance yourself, bring yourself into baseline. Find your kosher motif. Every morning, you read your calendar of your 3 particles that you want on your calendar. This is your purpose each and every day. Before you go to sleep every night, you don't just go to sleep. You have a purpose. You think about this. You want to remember what is going on. Because, my friends, that is the dimension of self, which is the archetype. Alright? You're living in a parallel dimension of self. Get with the program. Get out of the muck. Muck is negative human emotion, the dust and the debris on earth, and so on and so forth. Get out of the muck. Create kosher motif. Balance. Balance. Learn why you are here. Your purpose is to create energy. Pretty simple stuff. I knew this from the day I was born, but I decided to wait and see what everybody else's thought is on the subject matter. You're hilarious. You're like over here, and I'm like 10 steps ahead, like boom, now. Okay? How did I do this? Because in 5th grade they said I was a slow learner, slow reader. They sent me to speed reading class. Are you sure you want that? Because what you want, you're going to get it. And then when I open my mouth, it blows human minds. So I learned to walk fast, talk fast, think fast, everything fast. You want it, you got it. Well, there you go. So, don't tell me what I need to do, because I will then show you what you're missing in life, that you could have had a much more pleasurable life in this life if you choose to quit doing and start being. That means silence and still being in base. Good thought process to keep yourself grounded. And life is love, love is life. Blessings from Reverend Dr. Juanita Lewis, DDIB, PhD. And thank you for your support.